Hello, Dumela, Sawubona, Guten Tag. Goeiemorgen. It will always be morning on this channel. It will always be morning. I don't care. I don't care what time it is. It will always be morning. Welcome to episode 2 of Rural Living and Innovation. In the first episode, we talked about a lot of things, but in the last episode, I talked about rural innovation being self-funded right now. And I talked a bit about some of the reasons why rural innovation is self-funded. But one of the ways that one of the means through which rural innovation can be funded is through remote working, where you are working from home. You don't have any added living expenses other than what you would ordinarily have. That allows you to use a portion of your income to stay alive, but also use a portion to develop and invest in innovation. And if you want to, you can also invest in other systems. So it's up to you how you distribute it. So this episode is more about is more about remote working in the rural areas more than it is about how you can distribute your income working from the rural areas. So I feel like I need to do a background on the remote work in a way, as I mentioned, soldiers who don't have accommodation costs, or I think. So I need to do a whole episode on that. It will probably be in Zulu because I'll talk to my mom. I'd like to have my mom on the episode and also talk about how way back when, let's say 30 years ago, people used to go and work in the city, but how they use their income to then fund innovation back home. I don't think rural innovation is a new thing. I think it's been there for a long time, but also at the same time, the living and the cost of living have changed, which is why the dynamics of rural innovation have changed. So that is still upcoming. I still have to convince my mom to record the episode. But also we find ourselves now. So back then, you could just go. You could wake up and go and your face and look for a job and go job hunting, and you'd find something as a gardener, and then maybe you'd be doing an apprenticeship in welding like my dad did, and then you become a welder at some company, and then maybe there's another opportunity to do a learnership, and then you end up in a better position, but you are able to send money home and innovate at home because you are living at a hostel and paying 10 rand back then to live, and you can eat puto and mas and sam for a lot of days because you're investing back home. But that was way back when, and back then labor was physical, gardening, welding, those things. Now a bit of that is automated, which is why people feel like jobs have been taken away, but labor now is more mental than physical. Of course, physical labor will still always be important. Our physical bodies will always be important, but now we are doing a lot more data, a lot more you see, I work in a data environment. We're working with a lot more mentally challenging work. You can sit at a desk and be thinking and writing, and that is work now. You can be creating content and you're not using your strength, but that is work. So we're using our mind more to get things done than maybe in the past. A lot of the times I think those manual tasks can become it, but you can do it automatically, on auto drive, so to speak. And the mental stuff requires a bit more, and even with the mental stuff, some of it does become a bit more routine, but because it's a different era where like mental labor is becoming more normal than physical labor. I think it's why we are actually seeing a more mental illnesses like anxiety and depression and it's OCD and whatever, because like I need to stop saying like, because a lot of the jobs or employment opportunities that are there right now require mental capacity to a certain level, and that has to be established in a certain way, and that's how I think these or illnesses, mental illnesses, are like now becoming more defined and more spoken about. Um, that being said, I think the future belongs to people who can design systems. So it's all good and well to like be able to create content. It's all good and well to be able to like write a blog post. It's all good and well to be able to do research. But if you cannot input that research into a system, then I think your work will become mundane, because like we're using AI to write, we're using AI to design images, we're using AI to write code. So if you are not able to design sort of systems with those things in mind, or other things, it doesn't have to be those things specifically. Those things are just the ones that came to mind, because those are the most, I think, relevant right now in terms of innovation in the broader context of the globe. But there are other ways in which innovation is like systems of planting systems. So people who are able to create systems are those people who will be able to like really harness the future. But those who can overcome like mental challenges and like apply themselves mentally right now, I think are the people that are like able to do the most with work. And because of the internet, work can be done remotely. A wide range. You can be a video editor, you can be a voice editor, you can create content like this on this platform. There are so many things that you can do from the remote space, whether it's formally or whether you're doing it by yourself. There isn't a reason for us to not be engaging those things like so I work at an NPC called Open Cities Lab. What does OCL do? OCL is a resident focused organization. We are all about capacitating community leaders and municipal and government representatives to be able to do what they want to do. We are about creating tools that allow them to do what they want to do easier and more with less time, with better impact for the benefit of the residents. We've got like some journalism project that we're working on, that like OCL is working on. That is about like accountability and transparency. So like, how do we use data to inform reporting, and how do then like residents from that reporting help residents make better informed decisions. So that's what OCL does. So I can do that remotely because I'm a community manager, and that involves like making people aware of what we're doing, reaching out to people, like in the broader context, like sharing the word on what we're doing as an organization, and then the community part of it. And I do that remotely. So some of the things that I have needed to be able to do my job better is like a really fast laptop. Like it's difficult to work when your computer takes like 30 minutes to start and then it takes 10 minutes to open a document. So I've needed a fast computer, I've got a router, and then I've got a UPS so that the router can work even when there's no power. And then my computer has like a good what is it called, battery life. So even when there is load shedding, let's say like 4 to 6 hours, Not 6, maybe 6 is a bit of a push, but like 4 hours I can survive. If there's overnight load shedding, then sometimes I don't survive. But in the UPS that I have isn't able to charge my computer, but it can charge my phone. And some of the things that are involved in my job is like responding to emails, being online, writing stuff. I can still do on my phone, and my UPS is able to charge my phone. So I'm still able to do my job in that way until the UPS runs out. So in terms of like getting the job done, that's what I need. And in terms of mental capacity, you just need a lot of good time management, which I'm still working on. Good communication skills, like when people like ask you questions, respond, let them know when you won't be able to respond. I'm still working on that also as the community manager. I think those things are very important to me. But there are other things, hopefully other people will be, I'll be able to share people who do things remotely. But some of the people to like just check out, just to change thinking on just financial management and hustling, or Unicolette Mashile. I've been following Unicolette Mashile since she's called the Financial Bunny, I think, on Facebook. I used to follow her when I was still in uni still. And I don't think she had a YouTube channel at that time. I think she just had a Facebook page. And then there's also Label Lion. I'm not sure what her surname is. Might be Tao, but her name is Label Lion. She has a lot of good financial advice. Even if you don't want to do things like this, but it's just to get you thinking on like what people are doing out there in the South African context, because I feel like for me a lot of the content that is out there on platforms is so westernized. Like I'm just like, yo, but like this is not for me. Like I'll never be able to do it because 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And if I'm able from like to do it from the rurals of Richmond, I feel like everybody's able to do it. Like it doesn't matter who's Balanga, like we should all be able to innovate in the spaces that we're in, and the range of innovation is wide. It's not just high-tech billionaires club, and it doesn't have to be that. I don't have billionaire club aspirations. I can't have billionaire aspirations working at an NPC or NPO. So yeah, I hope this was like some kind of structured rambling that was beneficial or informative for you, or like kind of, I don't know, helped you in one way or another. And then if you've watched all the way here, thank you for watching, and I hope you've subscribed, and see you in the next episode. Bye.